And let me just explain what we mean by privacy. So privacy is having freedom over your personal information. So that means I'm not looking into your house, seeing what you're doing. I'm not opening your wallet and having a look. I'm not reading your emails. I'm not putting a surveillance camera in front of you. So that's your privacy, right? But you know what? If you go back 1400 years before you have the GDPR, before you have Data Protection Act, before you have governments bringing all this in, our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam really respected privacy. And if you look at, when you go back in history and you look at the Ottoman Empire, did you know that they had two doorbells?
Really?
They had one for men and they had a smaller one for women. So if a man knocked, the man would answer, and if a woman knocked, the woman would answer. And also we are taught when you knock on the door, you should stand to the side so that when they open the door, you don't peer in and invade their privacy. And even, I think, forgive me for my mistakes if I'm mistaken here, but I believe it was Umar, who was one of the leaders after Abu Bakr, he said to people, or he told them off for entering the house through the back door, because you might startle your wife and the people who occupy your house and you're invading their privacy. So he said, you should come through the front door, do not go through the back door because you're invading the privacy. But the thing that really brought it home for me was when I read about this story. So somebody came to visit the Prophet ﷺ, to ask him a question of whatever reason it was. And when he got to the house of the Prophet ﷺ, he thought, let me not disturb him. Let me see what the Prophet is doing. And he peered through the hole and he saw that he was actually in prayer. He was worshipping Allah. So he thought, you know what? I don't want to disturb him. I'll catch up with him later. Anyway, later on, they bump into each other in the market. And he says, oh, Prophet ﷺ, I came to meet with you earlier, but you were praying, and therefore I didn't disturb you, but I have a question to ask, or whatever it is that he wanted to discuss with him. And the Prophet ﷺ says, hold on a minute. How do you know I was praying and that you did not want to disturb me? Do you mean that you pried through you pried into my personal space? I'm paraphrasing here, so forgive me for that.
Of course.
And yes, I looked through the hole and I saw you was praying. And the Prophet ﷺ says, something to the effect of, you shouldn't do this. If you peer into somebody's house and they strike you with a weapon or they throw a stone at you, and if that were to kill you, there is no sin on that person. Which really rammed home how important privacy is in Islam and how much we value one's privacy.